My dad passed on, I think, in 2008. But even at that time, him and I didn't have much of a relationship.
Okay. The industry needs to open up to Black people, but I just don't think most or some of them are really grabbing the opportunity and doing their best and
Yeah,
excelling in what they have to.
it is. Yay. Nearly trial and error.
Yeah.
Nearly trial and error. So it took a while for me to actually complete my building, my hotel.
Let me introduce to you the new kid on the block. Mel Lavie is a new skincare range that recently launched. It is for face and for body. We deal with hyperpigmentation, anti-aging, wrinkles, natural glow. We also deal with dark inner areas. We target dark inner thighs, dark armpits, dark neck, dark elbows, dark knees, you name it. We also have a shaving combo. This shaving combo deals with ingrowns and shaving bumps. Both men and women can use this good quality product shaving range. We've got good actives in our product from glycolic acid, hyaluronic acid, kojic acid, and many more. You can contact us on the WhatsApp number that is popping on the screen, or you can reach out to us on all our social media platforms. We are here for all your skin needs. Hi, everybody. This is the Working Wife, the Working Woman podcast, and I'm your host, Promise Makunyane. This podcast, it's really about women working, women inspiring each other to work. I always say it is good to have a man do stuff for you, but it's much more better if you can also do stuff for yourself. Guys, we do have a sister podcast on the very same channel. It's called The Working Wife, The Working Woman. No, it's called Own Narrative Podcast. Guys, this guest, let me tell you, disclaimer, this guest was asking me about my podcast. So I've been explaining, going back and forth. So pardon me, but I'm just going to continue. So our sister podcast is called Own Narrative Podcast. It's about marriage and family dynamics. If you would like to be a guest on both podcasts, please write to us on the email address that is popping on the screen. Don't forget to put your number, preferably your WhatsApp number, so that we can vet you. We can contact you once we vet your story. Guys, today I'm nervous. I don't know why this woman is making me nervous. Anyway, guys, this podcast that you are watching, The Working Wife, The Working Woman podcast, it airs on Sundays at 6 p.m. And that other one, it airs on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Please take this moment to hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. It makes a difference on our site. We are trying to get to 100K subscribers. We are well on track. I think we are on 90. Thank you. I think we are on 96 or 95.
Wow.
But please, guys, it's absolutely free to do that. Makes a total difference on our site. Anyway, let's get into the conversation because, wow, I'm mumbling. She first got here and interviewed me. When did you start your podcast? So I was just explaining my life to this woman. Ma'am,
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. Here we respect time more than anything because you guys, women I sit with here, they wear many hats.
Yeah.
And you could do a lot with the hour, 2 hours, whatever hours that you'll be here with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So on this podcast, we start with icebreakers.
Okay.
Nah? Just for us to relax a bit. And we're going to get into the conversation. The first icebreaker is if you teach a class on one thing, one skill only, what would you teach women and why?
I would teach them about love.
What about love?
How to do love, how to give love, and most importantly, how to receive love. Because I think with how life has been, especially towards us as women, we give easily, but I think throughout time, many of the women I've met, many of the women I've interacted with, have really forgotten the concept of how to receive love. Or in some cases, they haven't even had the opportunity to really experience love. So it becomes an unfamiliar concept to them and for them. And as a result, they don't know how to receive love. And you find that in cases whereby even they when they do have an opportunity to receive love, at the back of their minds, it's like,
This is real.
something is happening here. Is there an agenda? So I would teach this class on the concept of love. And I think even as humanity, just understanding when we say God is love, what does that mean? That's a whole different conversation altogether. But yeah.
Wow. Okay. And if you write a book about the season of your life currently, what would be the title?
I would definitely saying showing up for myself.
Ooh.
Yeah. I would say that. I think being a working woman, I went through the cycle of just focusing on the work and doing everything it takes to get to a certain level, but not necessarily thinking that it's important for me to show up in certain spaces because, I mean, my work should speak for itself. My work should speak for me. But I've had to learn that I need to be proactively putting myself out there, showing up for myself, and really amplifying my voice in terms of highlighting what I've done, my achievements, and not there's nothing humble about keeping quiet about your accomplishments. You need to put yourself out there. And so definitely showing up for myself has been the title of this season of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you speak about silence not being, there's no, who said, it was Annie on another podcast. She said there's no what in being silent. There's no dignity in being silent, you know. And you just tied up in yourself, what you have achieved, you showing up as that person.
Yes.
And we almost just want to downplay or downgrade.
Do it so much.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we do it so much. It's like at some stage of our lives we got a class where we were all in it and we were told, don't talk about your accomplishments because that means you're a humble person. I don't know where that came from. But like I said, with myself, it's something I really needed to break through and just I think it was a belief system. As to where I got it, I don't know. But it's something that I needed to get rid of because I work in it's a male-dominated environment. And men have the advantage of having an ego that just comes naturally. For us, it's something that I had to learn. I had to learn how to put my ego at the forefront in terms of what I've done and really just, pat myself on the shoulders. Like, you've been doing it. So put it out there.
Sure, you are here to tell us what is that you've been doing. Back to our icebreakers. Congrats, well done on that.
Thank
it's
you
a
so
very
much.
nice car. Anyway, what is it that you do every day? What is it about your daily routine that you'd like to eliminate, and why? What would you eliminate? One thing you would eliminate in your daily routine, and why?
One thing I would eliminate in my daily routine. I don't think there's anything I would eliminate. In fact, there's some things I would like to add more of.
Oh.
But in terms of elimination, you know, the first thing that came to my mind is those periods where I'm not doing anything. But then the reason I stop myself from saying it is because those periods are just as important. And we tend to want to be busy all the time, as if being busy all the time is a way of measuring your productivity, but it's really not. Those quiet times of not doing anything, being in a moment, being still, just taking time out for yourself, especially as a high working individual, it's important, and it plays a part of your well-being as an individual, not just personally, but even professionally. Because if you're not looking after yourself, if you're not filling your own cup in those quiet, silent moments of nothing, then you're going to be exhausted by the time you go out there into the world as well.
And I think as working women, working moms, working wives, we we often find ourselves in that rapid hole of working.
Busy, man.
Oh, busy. Waiting,
Busy.
oh, busy, you know, and you don't prioritize rest.
Yeah. So I stopped myself from saying "Ha ke dutse ke sa etse anything.
Okay, yo,
Gore, hey man,
ke topeng, skoropo ke.
something must be happening.
Yeah.
But no. Those moments are also important. Yeah.
And I think also when you spoke about showing up for yourself, that's also showing up for yourself.
Absolutely, right? Yeah.
In the little
100%.
things. Yeah. Anyway, second last one. Are you a morning or a night person?
I'm definitely a night owl. Like Bonaka from 10 to 3 a.m. is my most active, productive. My mind is working overtime. I can't even stop myself. At some stage, I was like, okay, this is not normal behavior. But I've accepted this is how I do life. So, yeah, I'm definitely a night person.
Lastly, why is it important for women to work, whether they're married or not?
Look, working for us, it forms part of our identity. I don't want to isolate it to it is your identity, but it does play a huge part of who we are as individuals. And, you know, when I was asking you earlier on about the different podcasts that you do, you mentioned something so important. You said it's your passion project. So that part of you doing something, whether it's work or whether it's just that passion project, I think it speaks to the heart. It speaks to who we are as individuals. It speaks to how we can display or show ourselves out there in society. So women should work.
Yeah.
Show yourself and let the world see who you are in terms of what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm sure by now my people are like, we love this guest, but who is she? She's been talking. We don't know who she is. Please tell us who you are, what you do as well.
Okay, awesome. My name is Nosipho Armstrong, and I am a wife. I'm a mother. I am an entrepreneur. I work in the construction industry, which is the part I was saying is a very male-dominated industry. So I've been operating in that space now for the past 15 years. And as part of what I do in the construction space, I also do a lot of mentoring for women in the construction space as well. I advocate for young people in terms of their own career development through my mentorship programs. But most of all, I'm an advocate for being a South African company that is working in the African market. So I am an advocate for us as South African entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs around the world, opening up ourselves and expanding ourselves to the African market, because definitely the time of Africa is now. And wherever you see me, you will hear me highlighting that point, because I'm very passionate about Africa and its awakening that is happening at the moment. Yeah.
Sure, you wear so many hats. You work in the male-dominated industry as well. But before we go into the hats, let's backtrack to Nosipho. Little girl, did you see yourself as this person one day? How did you grow up? Family, siblings?
Yes.
Let's talk about your upbringing.
My upbringing was so wholesome. Like when I think about home, I have this fuzzy feeling inside because my home was just filled with love. So I grew up with my mom. She was a single woman and she raised myself and my brother. And it's always been this family unit that's carried me throughout the most beautiful times of my life. I really didn't understand not having, even being raised by a single woman.
Yeah.
My mom made sure that she gave me everything that I need. I think, but the only time I really understood the concept of, for instance, being raised in a single parent home was when I was in high school and you meet your other peers and like, oh, my dad, this, my dad. And I'm like, okay. But like I said, because my life was so full, I really didn't get that
Gap.
there's a gap. I didn't experience it. My home was always filled with love, and it's been the message that we've carried through into our adulting as well, in terms of my brother and I being married, doing life the way we do life.
Yeah.
We can make reference to it because of how we were raised
By a single woman.
by a single woman.
Wow. Big ups, mom. Is she still alive?
Yes, she's still alive.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you.
Yes.
You mentioned that obviously your dad was not there. Where is he?
My dad passed on, I think, in 2008. But even at that time, him and I didn't have much of a relationship.
Okay.
One of the things my mom did was really try to ensure that, that relationship exists. She didn't raise us to be angry because he walked away from her, or in fact, she's the one who walked away from him because she valued her life more than being in an unhappy marriage. So she didn't raise us to be angry about it. She tried the best that she could to ensure that we have a relationship with him. I, on the other hand, was not interested in having a relationship with my father because, again, like I said, I didn't feel the need for it. I didn't think that I was full anyway.
I hear you.
And him not being present, you can't miss something you don't have.
No. Or you
Or that
even
you
just
don't
had a
know.
little off. Yeah.
I didn't have much of a relationship with him until he passed on. I mean, we were still civil to each other. He would call now and again. We would go and visit,
Yeah.
but there was not much else that came out of that relationship except to know that yes, he's there. I have a dad somewhere. He does exist. He got married, had other kids, and life just continued. And it was okay.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the Val, Wanako Shavas.
Nakiri KZN. My mom, I'm like,
No.
Muzulu. Are you Zulu though?
No, ke Mosotho, I'm Moswati. So my dad and my mom were both raised in the Val, Koshaville. But my dad was Swati, but he didn't have any strings or any links towards the Swati culture. They both grew up Shavili, exposed to the Sotho culture, the Sotho way of doing life. So everything about us is Sotho. And then at some stage, we moved from Sharpeville, we moved to Annandale, which is like a colored community. But it was a very homely family environment as well, family orientated.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of my time in Annandale as well before, when going before school, we moved to the south of Johannesburg. And yeah, that's been how we grew up.
Grade 12, you're in the south of Johannesburg. After grade 12, where do you go? What do you study?
So after grade 12, I had this clear plan of what I wanted to do. I was always interested in human behavior. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do psychology when I get to university. And then I get to university, there's industrial psychology, which sort of has your link towards psychology, but in a business context, in a corporate context. So I sort of married the two, and I did industrial psychology and HR, which is what I graduated with. And then from that, I went straight into the corporate world, starting in a training company, which is basically where the career progression in HR started. So I did a lot of training, I did a lot of facilitation, I did a lot of project management as well. And it was there where I got exposed to the construction industry because the company that I worked for also did some construction.
Okay.
And in that, that's where the interest for construction and training started, which basically built up my career towards what it is right now.
You study psychology and HR. You work in HR and training.
Yes.
How do you now, unless if there's somewhere where they marry each other, how do you now just go into construction?
So like I said, I did get exposed to the construction industry
Yeah.
because the company that I worked for did a bit of construction.
Yeah.
And I didn't plan to be in the construction space at all. There's no part of me. I mean, even with me doing construction, a bit of it, being exposed to construction at the time, I was fully in my corporate career, and I was all corporate. the hills.
But the ladder.
All the way up to HR director level. I was solely focused on my corporate career. So how did I then get into the construction space? My husband is an engineer. And that's where
In community.
In community of property.
That's how now you were like...
That's how we basically married the two.
So you didn't go back to school to study. You're doing business construction.
Yes, I'm doing fully business construction. I'm doing the project management aspect of the construction space. But my company does do your hardcore construction work in terms of buildings, renovations, roads. I'm in there, like
The girl. The man. Wow.
Yeah.
I have a friend who is in construction, because when you said construction, I thought civil engineering, because my friend is a civil engineer.
Yeah.
No, she's no longer my friend. I'm sure she's gonna love something like, Kel, it's been years that we're not friends. Just my ex-friend.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say no. She's like that close now. We're sisters.
No,
Oh.
she's no longer my friend. So when you were saying construction, I'm thinking you did civil engineering.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So now, do you work with your husband?
Yes. We work together.
How is that?
That's a very interesting dynamic. In fact, we have conversations a lot. So part of us working together has been good in a sense that I know what's going on in his world and he knows what's going on in my world.
Yes.
The only disadvantage of working together is that you don't stop working.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like we have strategy sessions in the bedroom. It's not okay. Like at some stage, y'all gotta stop and just like take time out and not work. That's the only challenge.
Be a husband and a wife.
Yeah, be husband and wife, But that's the only challenge when it comes to my husband and I working together. Everything else, I absolutely love working with him. And I did not think, when I was all corporate, I was like, I would never work with you. You're so hard. But now we synergize. We have a way that we do work. And anything him and I do together just works out so excellently. And I think life has shown us that it doesn't work out as nicely as when you do it together.
Like it. I don't like him that much, but
it works, man.
It works.
It just works.
I can imagine.
Works. Yeah.
So what is it that you do exactly with your husband in the business?
So I focus on the project management side of the business, and then he focuses on the engineering side of the business. So with construction projects, project management is fundamental to how we run, manage, and see projects through. So my focus has always been on the construction, the project management side of the business, where he does the engineering side of the business, and we have a team of resources that do the actual labor work in terms of our artisans, in terms of our QSs, in terms of our engineers, depending on the project that we have. So there is that misconception that you have to be an engineer to be...
That's my mind.
Yeah, no, but it's not the case. If you have... that's the advantage of being an entrepreneur, is that you have the ability to pull the resources that you need in order to see this project through. And once you have your team in order, then you can drive the project. And another fundamental thing that I've learned throughout my tenure of being in the construction space is the power of collaboration. Yes. So even with myself, I have a lot of business partners that I work with. I collaborate with Black female entrepreneurs as well. One of my most important business partners is a lady by the name of Tato. She's been so instrumental even in my own personal journey in the construction space. So the power of collaboration in terms of you do this part, I do this part. Together we have the full turnkey solution, because let me tell you, when it comes to the construction space, it is still very
Male.
closed. We don't have as much history as our white counterparts in terms of the historical advantages that they have. We're still catching up.
Yeah.
So the power of collaboration allows you to come to the table with all the skills and the capacity that you would need to be able to deliver on the projects that you need to deliver on. And you don't have to do it on your own.
Yeah.
You really don't have to do it on your own.
True.
Yeah, so that is another way that I do it, and that has been strategically valuable to me in terms of gaining the kind of ground that I have, and to be playing amongst the high profile construction companies that I'm playing with at the moment, because I'm at a very high CIDB grading in the construction industry. So you find the people that I work with, in the back of their minds, they're wondering, how did she get here?
Yeah. When you speak about, obviously, I'm not so knowledgeable about the construction side, but when you speak about the grades, I remember on The Real Housewives when I think it was, what is it, Nonku and this girl Angela, they were asking each other, "What grade are you? What grade are you?" You know, so it's like when you get in there, they have to scale you what grade you are in.
Yeah.
And what grade are you?
I'm on grade 8,
What is the highest grade?
grade 9.
Woo! Girl. I'm sure, and you look so beautiful. Once you just represent maybe your business as yourself, I'm sure they ask themselves, "How did you get there?"
No, they do. They definitely do. Not just on the fact that you're a black person,
Yeah.
but that you're a black female,
Female.
or that you're a black female that looks young,
Yes.
right? So, and it's because they know the history. Again, making reference to the history. Making reference to the fact that it was a closed industry, and it's only just opened up, I would say, in the past 10 years for Black people. And we also having to play catch up in terms of growing and developing and building ourselves. But the key thing is that you are building yourself the right way. Right? Your product should speak for itself. So it's not just about being there because you are a face or BEE partnership. No, you put in the work. Your work speaks for itself. The quality of your work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And your career progression has spoken for itself. And I'm here.
Because honestly, when you speak about construction, I'm just even thinking about my village, you know, the roads, when people have got like road projects or tenders, it's just still the pits, you know.
Yeah.
And as much as we're saying they need to open up, the industry needs to open up to Black people, but I just don't think most or some of them are really grabbing the opportunity and doing their best and excelling in what they have to.
It is. It's a lesson that we ourselves need to do some introspection on. When I'm given a project, one of my key, there's 2 things I work on. There's the part of relationships, and there's the part of the quality of my work. Because I believe that the quality of my work should speak for itself, so much so that you should ask for me. You get me? Like, it shouldn't just be hore ke thotse project. Yeah, no, like, let the quality of my work speak for itself, in a sense that my client will say, Mamela, I need you to come back and do this part. So my scope expands, not because I asked for the work, but because what I did before was that good that even you were like, no, I need you to come back and do more of what you've done. So we do need to do some introspection, lerona, as people, because if we are making demand for that space, I mean, and the construction industry is highly, highly regulated, which is why agencies like the CIDB are so important, because they ensure that in terms of the regulations, in terms of ensuring that if you call yourself a grade 5 or a grade 8 company, you have the capacity, you have the credentials, you have the proper skills to do what needs to be done, because the safety element is so critical towards the output of your product. You don't want to risk yourself as a company, your reputation, by doing work that that is going to compromise not just on the standard of the product, but on the safety of the people.
Of the people.
Yeah.
Do you think though? These constructions should really be given to people that have studied that, or because what I'm thinking about back, like I'm still thinking about home, that the people that got the tenders are people that don't have anything, absolutely no grade 12, or maybe grade 12, know this, know that, and maybe their thing is that we are going to outsource, collaborate with this person, collaborate with this person, and also those people that they are collaborating with, they are not skilled, or I really don't understand. Is it maybe that they should just call engineers or to do the work or to own the businesses and be the ones to outsource because they know.
Yeah.
So it's just this is a cheap stena or what?
Yeah, your team of resources, your pool of resources is critical towards the output of your business or the output of your product. But you make an important point. Should the engineer run the business? The engineer may not have the capacity or the ability to run the business, because running a business is actually another skill on its own.
It's entrepreneurship.
It's
not academic.
I say academia. You know what I mean? So you will find that in a space whereby the person went to school, they've got it, and I'm not even downplaying it because it's important. It's important. I need those engineers. You know, you need those skills, you need those pool of resources to be able to deliver on the product. But at the same time, I also know, because I mean, I'm also a professional, that running a business is a completely different conversation to the professional skill of being an engineer or being a scientist or being a teacher, for instance, you know what I mean? So there's the professional service, which is, we need it. Like I said, we need those engineers in our businesses. And at the same time, there is the business aspect, which is why you need your CEO, your COO to be running the business part of your business. Yeah. So yeah, we work together.
Yeah.
We do.
You spoke about expanding in Africa. Where are you guys? What do you guys do? Tell us about that part.
So
which seems like your most interest currently. Do you guys do work across Africa?
Yes. So I recently expanded my business in West Africa. We launched a hotel. So we're operating now in the property development space. So we built a hotel in West Africa, in Nigeria, and the hotel is now up and running. Oh my gosh. It's a boutique hotel called Kingsgate Luxury Suites, and
we're gonna Google that one.
Please do. And it's operating in West Africa, and like I said, it's just the beginning of a larger expansion into the African market, which is part of what I advocate for. So currently we have the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which is basically us saying we as Africa have all the resources within Africa. But these borders that we've created ourselves are limiting, even in terms of how we do business. So the trade agreement is opening up to say, if you are operating in Ghana, if you are operating in Namibia, if you are operating in Egypt, wherever you are in Africa, you have the chance to collaborate and work with other African countries to see how you can better partner and how we can increase the economic change that's already taking place in Africa right now. And remember, we have to be at the forefront of that change. We don't want to be colonized again.
Yes, told.
No? By other nations. In as much as there's an advantage to that, we need to, it's like, if we looked at Africa as an individual, and we are saying to you, who are you as Africa? What's your identity? What are you about? If the rest of the world can see tell the beauty about you, how come you haven't seen it for yourself?
And that's how we just get robbed of a lot of things.
Absolutely. We are getting robbed of a lot of things. But like I said, there is an awakening that is happening right now. It's an awakening. So it's at the beginning of a revolution, of a change that is taking place. But this is the time to get onto that gravy train and wake up to
Yeah.
to the immense opportunities that are out there on the African market. And of course, there's a lot that we still need to get right.
Get right.
It's teething, but we have to start somewhere.
And I was thinking when you're speaking about like being previously disadvantaged and then now already going in those spaces, like in the African spaces or global stages,
Yeah.
we still have a lot to work on
Absolutely.
within ourselves.
Yeah.
Because the world stage is big. So if we don't do the work by ourselves, and I'll take it back to the projects that we do, like on a local municipality level, right? I always see that this is just, as a Black person, I get this project. The first thing that I'm gonna think is, I'm previously disadvantaged. I have to do this. I have to do that. Like it's almost as if we are working backwards. We are working backwards. Even our mindset, it's like it's just backwards. You know, if I'm gonna get this project, I'm going to have to take a cheaper thing so that I can get more, so that I can pay for my whatever. Like we're just working backwards. So it's difficult. I'm just hoping that when we are gonna be put on world stages, we'll be able to actually participate.
That's a good one. So that you can compete globally.
Yes.
Right? And that again speaks to that introspection that we need to do. You can't play on the global stage if your product is a local product.
Yeah,
you
on a
know?
hungry stomach, I feel that we are hungry.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, let's not limit ourselves. You know, the beauty about being a South African and being in South Africa is that the whole of Africa is looking towards us, right? And we know that. Maybe we don't. I don't know. I don't know where we are right now in terms of how that is playing out. But so that then says that you are actually at a point of advantage.
Yes.
Right? That's number one. Number two, how are you then going to use that advantage for your good? Because if somebody, again, it's like I'm saying, everybody else can see the beauty of who you are, but you can't see it for yourself.
Yeah.
If I understand the beauty of who I am in terms of whatever the product it is that I have, whatever the service it is that I have, I'm going to ensure that I do it and I do it well.
Yeah.
That's number one. And then secondly, if I'm going to be bold and courageous enough to say, maybe where I am, maybe they don't see my value or they don't see my potential.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go somewhere where I am seen and where I am valued. And like I said, if the rest of Africa is looking to me as this bright and shining star, I'm going to be going out there and be that bright and shining star.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was received gladly into the African market. And I understand that may not necessarily be the experience for everybody, but you're not going to know if you don't put yourself out there.
Yeah. How do you, okay, I think now, how are we left with 15 minutes, 18 minutes? And I wanted to speak about the women empowerment that you do as well. I saw that you do Boma Career Thursday.
Yes.
And so forth. I wanted to ask you lastly on your construction work, how do you now get work outside? Like, how do you now get work in Nigeria? What do you do? Are you on social media? I'm joking. No, those are serious stuff.
No, so again, like I said, the culture and the dynamic and the way of doing work is very, very different in the rest of Africa. And again, it's only when you've been out there that you will understand how great things are here in this country, right? But it's part of the learnings. I had to learn how to do things. I had to learn how to start the work, start the business. It took some time for me to eventually get up and running. But the difference is that in a lot of the African market, things are not as regulated as they are in South Africa. You still need to have your fundamentals in place in terms of the registration of your business, the compliance of whatever it is that you are doing. The difference for me was that a lot of the stuff that I did
Yeah.
came out of my own pocket, you know.
What do you mean?
And again, this also now speaks to understanding what kind of funding agencies are available to us as African businesses. Because there could have been a different way of doing the work that I did. I could have done it differently. But it's only afterwards that I learned that there's different funding agencies that I could have gone to that could
On an
have helped
African scale.
on the African scale, that it could have helped in terms of it not being that difficult for me to get going, you know. But again, as I said, I'm not gonna nullify that I went that route. I'm just it's a learning for me that, you know, things worked out that way. So it took a long time for me to get to hit the ground running. I didn't just and things happened. It took a very long time for the establishment of the company, for the building of the project to happen, for me to get the resources that I needed, because I'm in a totally new market. I don't know people. I cannot send my engineers who are here into that. So there were so many things that I needed to understand about working in that market.
Yeah.
So those are the learnings that you take from working in that market, and it's part of the things that I talk about when I talk to entrepreneurs about going into a different market and understanding how are things working in this country, how are things gonna and also understanding how are things gonna work for us as part of this free trade agreement. And again, this is why I'm advocating for it, so that we understand how it works, how can we benefit from it, so that we don't have to, something that took me 2 years wouldn't necessarily take you 2 years because of the lessons that have been learned from my own experience.
I wanted to ask that when now your business is working, or you are working in East Africa,
West Africa. For now. Yes.
Do you go now with your service providers from here to that
Some of
side?
them.
Some
Some of them, especially when I started, because again, I was unfamiliar with that territory. I was unfamiliar with the workmanship, because the quality of my work is critical,
Yes.
right? I was unfamiliar with the workmanship. How are they going to deliver on the product that I want them to deliver on? So at the beginning, when I started, I took
your weapons,
my strongest my strongest people on board. But as the project continued, I learned, I got to familiarize myself with the local resources that side, and started using them as well. And also that speaks to how you are also contributing to that society where you are, so that you can also upskill the people in those areas, upskill the community. We learn from each other, because it's not just about me bringing in my skills, but I need to learn about you as well. I need to learn about your culture. I need to learn about what works here, because what works in South Africa might not work that side, and that has been the case. And having to learn and unlearn some things that are because it works in South Africa, it doesn't mean it's going to work everywhere else. And you have to accept and appreciate that part about exposing yourselves to other markets.
How long did the project take? And were you there full time?
So what was supposed to take a year took me 3.5 years.
No.
And it is because, again, like I said, there were a lot of lessons.
Learning. Trial and error.
Yay. Nearly trial and error.
Yeah.
Nearly trial and error. So it took a while for me to actually complete my building, my hotel. It took very long. But at the end of the day, the lessons were learned. I received so much insight as to how to do business in that economy outside South Africa, which is it's invaluable now. The experience that I've taken in, and now I'm telling and teaching other people, you know, because like I said, just because I made those errors,
don't have to go
you
through
don't
that.
have to go through that.
Yeah.
I can show you there's a different way of doing business, of conducting business in these markets that you can benefit from, which is what I'm talking to a lot of entrepreneurs about when they have the conversations with me, like, oh my gosh, you went into Africa. Why? How did you do that? And this is where the conversation normally begins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the hotel up and running? Who
Yes,
owns it?
it's fully up and running.
Who owns it?
I'm the owner of the hotel. It's my baby.
Ibo. I'm a boss. I'm a boss of a fete. I'm a garage. You own the hotel.
Yes, we own the hotel. It's a family hotel. It was started by myself and my husband, so we own the hotel. It's our baby, and it's the first of its kind. We've gotten, like I said, your product is so good, that you are getting called. Like, when are you coming here?
Yeah.
So those
You're
are
like,
the
let's
kind
do
of
your own thing.
yeah.
Sure.
So the idea is to obviously expand it into the rest of Nigeria. So we started in Lagos. We're gonna go to Abuja, and then from Abuja we're gonna expand into the Ghana space. Yes.
Is it up and running?
Yes, fully operational.
Guys, ikukule modu. Ikukule
Google
Yes.
Yes.
So exciting.
Yeah. And you know the interesting
Man,
part
it's so exciting.
about that hotel, like I told you, it took me such a long time to get it up and running. Can you believe that even before my hotel was done, I was already fully booked? I'm telling you, that's
What was the magic that you did?
that the I think people could see that no, this one is different.
Top of the range. South African
style.
This one. Big bosses. South African style.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's up and running.
It's up and running.
It's so, I just love this podcast of mine because I always get just glimpses of that. Imagine being in Nigeria, or one of my subscribers, the women that are watching this podcast, go into Nigeria and they already know where they are going and who owns that hotel.
Yes.
It's just so amazing.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
True. Shout out to you and your hubby and the family business.
Yes.
So it's up and running now.
It's up and running.
How big is it?
So
How many rooms?
it's a boutique hotel. So we've got 11 rooms. Yeah. So the concept of the hotel was to have like your home away from home type of setup. And there was so many lessons that have gone into this hotel, because when we initially started it, the concept wasn't for us to be a fully fledged running hotel. We were literally just trying to create a space that we wanted as home, right? So even the design features, it doesn't look like your standard hotel. But that's what people love about it. So now it became like our value proposition. Like, you get to be home away from home. And now it's part of our selling. One of the things that we use to sell and to market the hotel, and people are loving it. And so we've got 11 rooms in the first phase of the hotel, and then the following phase we'll obviously expand and grow bigger and better and wider. Yes.
When you speak about home away from home, I got to know about Hyde House. I don't know if you know Hyde House. It's an American hotel. It's in South Africa. I didn't know about it until I had them as a client, right? And they were doing I used to do I used to work for a global company. We do in the influencer marketing unit. So Hyde House was one of my clients, and then I had to execute a campaign for them with influencers.
Okay.
So when you're speaking about exposure, exposure, because when you speak about a hotel, that is home away from home. Hyde House, that's when I got to know that there are actually different hotels making millions or billions at that, but they are not your standard hotels that we know. It's an American style. All tourists, they just go there.
Yeah.
And you even for example, my other business, Forever Living business, when they take us outside the country, we stay in hide houses. You know, it's not like your whatever's that we know.
Yes.
Because it's just the style, American style type of.
Style is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I see now when I'm imagining your hotel, I'm imagining hide house.
Yeah.
Because it's like we are home, you're working in your home.
Yes. And that was the idea.
So how long has it been running for now?
So we started our operations in November last year. So we've been operating now for about, it's going to be a year in November.
Yeah.
And the reason why we have not expanded as yet is because we decided to take the time this year to establish the operations, make sure that we establish the framework of the business, because now it's not just now the construction side. Now it's the accommodation, property development side, which is it's two different type of businesses, right? I remember being there, and I go there quite often. I think, that's one of the things you were asking me, how often I'm there. I go there quite often because right now we're at the foundation phase, whereby you are putting in the systems, you are putting in the structures, you are putting in the way things need to run. Basically, you are putting in the culture of how our hotel needs to run. And you have to be the one who communicates that vision to the people, even who are working there, so that even when you're not there, that ambience of who you are, that culture of who you are is still there, and it's still part of your product, even in your absence. And I mean, that's part of the learnings that we've taken away from. And again, those values and those principles about the vision of a business that you thought, I'm just learning the vision because it must be there. But no, it speaks to, when you are not there, are there people who can carry your vision through? And that's one of the lessons that we learned by being in and out of
Nigeria.
We here in South Africa, we in Nigeria, we can't be there all the time, but we need to ensure that even when we're not there, things are running. So, those things then became important to how we do business as well.
Sure, girl. I wanted to ask you, like, now when you're talking like this, I'm like, what type of a mom are you? When do you mom? You and your husband, when are you parents? How do you balance it all as a mom?
Yeah. So that's part of one of the blessings I have. I have my mom. So when, for instance, I'm not around, I know that she's there. She's looking after my daughter. So I have one daughter. She's 8 at the moment. She believes that
that's
she
your friend.
is...
It's not like a daughter is your friend.
She believes that she's the boss of my life. She's got the extreme version of myself and the extreme version of her father, and she's made it into her own beautiful self. So she's a very feisty, strong, and lovely personality. Very hyperactive, always doing something. And so fortunately, like I said, for me, in the absence of us not being around, she gets to be there with my daughter. And then when we are at home, we obviously ensure that we spend as much time with her, because her being the only child also, that's another thing that we have to catch up on. But
are you guys gonna have more children?
Oh yeah, definitely.
How old are you? No, I'm not asking. Okay, I think I'm wrong for asking about other children and a baby on top. No. Wait, I always ask, okay. I'm not asking. I just made a mistake by asking at the back of me, asking about children.
Yeah.
But I always want my viewers to see if you are a 40-year-old, if you're a 30-year-old, to just see that, oh, wow,
you can relax. If I had to change one thing about my life, I would say I would have had kids earlier.
Okay.
But at the same time, I wasn't mature enough to handle kids then.
That's so important.
I really wasn't.
That's so important.
I was not. I mean, even now, I'm 39 now. I'm turning 40 next month. So, and yes, I'm still planning on having kids because I've got all the resources that I need to have a bigger family.
Yeah.
But that would be the only thing. I wanted a big family. I actually wanted to have 3 kids, you know. But God's plans, God's time, you know. So yeah, there's definitely more kids. And it's okay to have kids later on in life as well.
You know
I
what?
was sorry for cutting you.
No
I was
problem.
having a conversation with another friend of mine. So she's also 40, and she's not interested in having kids at all.
Yeah.
And that too is okay. So I was saying to her, okay, fine, then just have your eggs frozen or whatever, so that when you decide to have kids at 50, you know, it's not going to be an issue. So how life has changed for us so much is that we have these options now available to us.
100%.
So
Who's that lady that just had her first child, Toke from...
okay, yes, I saw that, and she's over 40.
She's over 40,
right? So
you know.
we have these options available to us now.
And I think it's just how we grew up and maybe our biology, because it's really knowing what I know now, it's really it does not make sense for me to have a child when I'm not sufficient myself.
Yeah. Oh, that's
It's just, I don't know. And that's why I carry biology also, the body clock needs to change because
it needs to change.
It needs to change.
Because really, this early childhood thing. And the thing is, I love what you just said. You were not, because you pouring into somebody else, a whole human being. What are you giving?
Yes.
That person when now yourself.
You need to be giving. Yes.
That's not.
It's so true. Is it my phone?
No, it's my phone.
So we need to have that conversation, and maybe the next generation needs to, guys, having children. For example, I had kids. If I was not married, I would never have. By now, right? Love my kids to death, but I had them. It was just a natural thing to do next.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it.
So now have kids.
Now have kids, you know. So those things really need to change. Even when you are married, you don't have to just say, this is the natural step to do.
That's a very interesting conversation.
It's an interesting conversation.
Part of the work that I do, I'm an Embed Master Coach, and part of the work that I do is coaching people on some of the traumas that you've experienced as an individual and how you can override those traumas, even though they're things that happened in your development stages, right? And I make mention of that is because you find that we unconsciously are transferring those traumas onto these little people because we ourselves haven't dealt with some of the traumas that we were experiencing as little people that are now coming out in our adult years. And I find a lot of people, and I'm not talking about just us as mothers. I'm talking about your corporate, your executives, your CEOs, some of the traumas that we are dealing with, even in our lives as business owners today, has to do with things that happened in our development stages that we were not aware of. But now it's coming out. And you there in that office wondering, why am I doing this? Why am I stuck in this relationship? Or why am I not moving forward as much as I want to? And it's because we're not addressing some of those issues that we experienced. And
it's like a default setting. You don't know that.
You don't know.
You are on a very bad setting. But just because it is who you were from the day you were born, you are just keeping going.
Yeah.
For me, I always say that parenting is what exposes the healing I need to do. Me parenting my children. There I know I've got a lot of healing to do.
I know it really does.
You know, if I'm not repeating what my mom is doing, I know. You know, I always say, you know what, therapy, it's very important.
It is.
Because we are just big women trapped, small, like little children trapped in big bodies. Yeah. But Sofika Corner will heal.
We will.
As long as we are aware, it's the awareness.
The awareness is the
very
beginning.
important. Yeah, the beginning.
If you're aware of it, you've started the process of healing. You are.
Madam, thank you so much. I know they're going to say, she must come back. She didn't talk about, so we'll just hear them. They'll call you back. So thank you so much.
Thank you for
You're such an inspiration. It's one of a kind. I've never really sat with a corporate girly. I would sit with a corporate that went straight into designing, or now they're in a total different space. But today it was a different conversation. I know I've got my corporate girls who are like, "Bakai batho di ngcondo tsa rona di dule mo di tle di re," like just to see life through. So I know they're gonna love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having
Really
me.
appreciate your time.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And please continue the beautiful, amazing work that you are doing. The world needs to hear from the likes of you who are shining a light on the journeys like myself. And many women, like I said, are there in their own corners doing their own thing. But I think podcasts like this are shining a light on these women, which is critical to how we show up for ourselves. So thank you so much.
Boss babes, come here. Tell us how you do it. Let us tell you that, oh boss. So, you know, oh boss. Oh boss. So, anyway, Mami, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you for staying this afar. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm not going to batongi. And why wouldn't there so mara? Hit that subscribe button so that we can be able to pay for the studio, you know. But yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next episode from myself and Nosipho.
Yes.
Love and light. Bye.